Let's imagine a world where cryptocurrencies are our only payment method. What would the country's financial systems look like? Would a national cryptocurrency be safe from cyber attacks? How can we protect them from manipulation? And last but not least, would such a currency be practical for use in everyday life? Let us find out together today and here on Let's Imagine. Please consider subscribing. It's free, it's easy, and you're signed up to see more imaginational craziness. In August 2008, the domain bitcoin.org was registered. The Bitcoin software was released as open source code in January 2009. No one could have foreseen the waves this development would create. It started with a value of about $0.08 per Bitcoin and now is at about $45,000. In addition to this enormous value development, countless other cryptocurrencies have also been able to establish themselves. It is not possible to identify how many there are right now, just to name a few of the most important ones at the moment: Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo or Cardano. So, what would a financial system look like that exclusively relies on cryptocurrencies? Countries that have launched a national cryptocurrency to date include China, Senegal, Singapore and Tunisia. First of all, we need to compare cryptocurrencies to fiat money. The most important difference is that cryptocurrencies that are established now are decentralized and therefore not controlled by any government. This circumstance, which until now has been interpreted as an advantage, would change as national currencies would be controlled by law and regulated by the government. As far as we can tell from the current standpoint, the advantages of cryptocurrencies that we know so far would be undermined by governmental control. The fact that cryptocurrencies would be centralized would also mean that they would be vulnerable to cyber attacks. Cyber attacks are cybercrime, cyber espionage, hacktivism and cyber warfare. Research shows that hacktivism is the most threatening of them all. But to ease the tension, the general threat would not be much higher than it is right now for governmental and industrial systems. Overall, this consideration leads to the conclusion that the full advantages of cryptocurrencies could not be depleted with national cryptocurrencies, as they would not be the most practical way to implement this financial system. So, if we consider that cryptocurrencies, as we know them right now, would be the only method of payment, we have to ask ourselves if they would be secure against manipulation in the long term. One of the greatest requirements of a national currency, or a currency that is treated as one, is stability. The price development of Bitcoin shows that current cryptocurrencies are everything else than stable. A stable option would be stable coins. The stability of these coins is given by the fact that they are backed by certain assets. These assets could be commodities such as gold or silver, whose value is relatively stable. It could also be backed by fiat money, but this option is omitted here. So, the best option would be a cryptocurrency that is not controlled by the government, but backed by the government. Let's just assume that would be possible. Are they practical in everyday life? Digital payments are everywhere. PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Amazon Pay, and so on. In addition, payment by card or cell phone is becoming increasingly popular in the analog world and in everyday life. This development clearly shows that paper money is still being used at the moment, but will not necessarily be needed in the future. Therefore, the everyday use of cryptocurrencies would totally be possible and is already possible now. To summarize these thoughts, the exclusive use of cryptocurrencies is a thought experiment that could soon become reality. We already have the technical possibilities to realize this development and are on the way right now. The most interesting aspect here is how politicians will deal with this issue in the future and what course will be taken. We cannot predict this development and when or if it will take place. But what we can say though is that we need to take all these facts into consideration. The rest is up for your imagination. What is your thought on the development of cryptocurrencies? Let us know in the comments.